this weekend. Celtic back where they were. 28 points to Rangers 25. That's the first period of the SPL gone. Celtic have played everyone. 3 in front. Rangers, of course, with a game in hand coming up against Dundee United. Motherwell and Kilmarnock 16. Dundee United Hibs 15, and Hearts stay where they were alongside Aberdeen on 14. Man of the match here, Barry Robson with Stuart Lovell.
Barry, it must be said, a fairly comfortable victory for Celtic today. Did you expect Hearts to provide sterner opposition?
Well, I think you need to give credit to us first and foremost. I thought we came out of traps the way we wanted to. We got right at them, got in their faces, and then we started to play our football from there. And I thought Hearts couldn't cope with us the first 30 minutes. No disrespect to them, but I thought we got right about them, and we managed to get a couple of goals.
Yeah, there were a few meaty challenges, particularly in the first half. Were you keen to make sure you got your tackles in early and won the physical battle? Yeah,
I think we try and do that most weeks, and when we can do that, first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we can start to play our football after that when the game settles down a bit. But no, it was Hearts are a decent side, and it's a great place to play football here at Tynecastle. It was always going to be a hard game, but I thought we deserved it in the end.
How much did it help to get 2 goals up early in the match, maybe allowed you to play with more freedom?
Yeah, it did. It made a difference. I think we weren't at our best when they went down to 10 men. As the manager said, we could brush up on our passing a wee bit in the second half. But the first half, we kind of won the game, with the way we got about the place and the way we passed the ball and the goals we scored. So if we can do that most games and our passing's decent, we've always got a good chance of winning games.
Do you think Celtic were guilty of taking their foot off the gas in the second half when you were effectively 11 against 10?
Well, sometimes another team gets a lift when they go down to 10. It's a strange thing to say that, but it can happen. But no, maybe we did a wee bit, but we shouldn't have. But no, I didn't. I thought sometimes when you've got too much time to think, it can get a bit harder as well. But no, I thought all in all, we won the game in the first half, and it was just through pure work rate and working really hard and making sure that we did pass the ball well in the first half. So yeah, we are delighted, and we knew it was going to be a hard game, so we're glad to come away with 3 points.
Has the manager got a conundrum now regarding penalties? Because that was the 3rd penalty that's been missed by Celtic this season. You're probably not fair to put you on the spot, because yourself, Paul Hartley and Sean Maloney have all missed one. Who's next? Who's going to step up to the plate next time?
Well, me. I was going to take that today, but Paul was screaming for it, and I says, well, it's only fair to pass one on when you've missed one. So a few have missed one now, so I'll be desperate to try to grab it next time, because I still fancied it. But the thing is, I think Paul's only missed 1 or 2 out of about 20 penalties his career as well, and it was the first time I missed one in 3 years as well back then. So these things happen, but no, the next time we get a penalty, there'll be loads of boys fighting for it, but we'll have to make sure we put it away.
And looking forward to a huge game on Wednesday night against Manchester United?
Yeah, massive game. We know how good they are, but we're at home at Celtic Park with a great bunch of fans behind us, and we need to be ready for them. And as I said, come out the way we did today and try and get in about them and try and cause an upset, and then maybe try and get a couple of goals.
Well, your performance today has won you the Clydesdale Bank Man of the Match. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
You're welcome. Barry Robson, 1/4 of a very...
to have.
Let's get the Celtic manager's assessment of that with Stuart.
Gordon, people always like to say how difficult a place Tynecastle is to play. With that in mind, you must be pleased how well your players did today.
We know how hard it is, and I think that's why you're here, because you know you've got to get a good game here. That's why our fans turn up excited. There's got to be a game. That's why the Hearts fans turn up excited, because they know there's got to be a game. So we started off in top gear. We really went and grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, did very well. And when it gets to the 10 men, we can take the sting out of it and try and keep the ball a bit. We go down a couple of gears then. But that's what happens when top teams, you're playing against top teams, you go after them. And then if you get in a winning position, you can relax a wee bit, and that's what we did.
Your players look really fired up today, 2 up inside 20 minutes. Did that help to quieten the home support?
I think so, because it's usually the other way about when we come here. They do very well, and I remember the first time I come here, they went 2-0 up, and the place was, it was actually moving, and it was quieter today. But that's down to our players, the way they went about their job and won tackles, competed, then tried to play when they had the ball.
Another goal for Sean Maloney today. You must have been impressed with his technique.
I never seen it properly. I just apologised to him. I was writing something down, so I had to apologise to him. And they tell me it wasn't a bad goal.
Well, I'll ask you about the other goal then. Gary Caldwell doesn't often get amongst the goals, but it has to be said he's been a real stalwart for Celtic, not just this season, but in your time here as manager.
He's been fantastic for us, and he knows when to compete, he knows when to pass. You know, he went up for a free kick there and he's seen a nice wee move on, and he slipped off the centre half and he put the ball across. Wherever you put him, he understands how that position should be played.
Do you get a sense that the supporters have turned around their opinion about Gary Caldwell, because he seems to get a lot of support now compared to maybe criticism he's had in the past?
I think so. There always has to be a whipping boy. You know, if it's not Gary, they'll move on to somebody else, because fans are like that. They're not just Celtic fans, it's every fan. They have to have a whipping boy, because that's part of the laugh coming along. Let's go for him, because they wouldn't enjoy themselves just praising players all the time. So they have to have a whipping boy, and he's handled it, and it's made him a far better player. I'm not saying that we should turn on everybody. I'm just saying it's made him a far better player.
Another missed penalty today for Celtic. It hasn't affected the result, but where do you go from here? Who gets the responsibility?
I'll be dusting down the boots, I think. I really don't know. Well, to be fair, our main one is Jan Vennegoor, and he's injured. But they seem to be quite confident, you know, and Paul just said that's his first one he's missed. Which I find very surprising after seeing that.
But yet another win for Celtic, which will set you up nicely for very, very tough opposition on Wednesday against Manchester United.
Yeah, and we've played the way, obviously not as good as them, but the way they set out against us at Old Trafford, they come out as top gear. I mean, raging out the blocks. I mean, we know people at Manchester United and said that was a fantastic start they had, and it was a terrific start. And then when they get to 2 and 3, then they can come down a couple of gears, and that's what happened to us today. But we know we can play better than we did down there. But also know that in the games that have been played around about the time we've been there, West Brom have lost 4, Hull have lost 4, West Ham it was 2 and it could have been 6 in the first half hour. So we're in good company there.
Yeah, you've probably summed up the size of your task, but of course we wish you well on Wednesday night. Thanks for your time, Gordon.
Thanks very much, thank you.
He's happy with that, isn't he? A potentially difficult game. It was 2-0 Celtic here at Tynecastle. Celtic restore that 3-point advantage at the top. It's 5 games without a win for the Tynecastle team. Csaba Laszlo with Stuart.
Csaba, how would you assess your team's performance today?
Yeah, if you lose a game at home, especially at home, you are unhappy and disappointed. It is indifferent who is the opponent, Celtic, Rangers or other teams. But I think in the first half we had the mistake with Baloki punched the ball. I think very good, but not so far. And then come the shoot about from 20 meter. And after the second goal was, I think, the most important. He killed us after we got down in the 15 minutes. We don't have the stability, but after in the second, especially in the last 15 minutes, we come back in the game. I think. Generally, if you talk about this game, you must know you had a very good opponents in the field, and you played about 40 minutes in the second half with 10. With the team, especially in the second half, I was, I think, not unhappy and not. We had a little bit unluck with Zaljukas. But in the second half, I think we showed character, and with 10 guys, we come back in the game, and also, okay, he missed the penalty, but after it was a game in which one maybe we had also 1 or 2 chances, especially the Berra. But definitely the team, he must learn also to play more quickly football. The Celtic, he closed very good the aerial. He pressed also very good against the ball, and this was the key. The most important is we come never behind the opponents. Especially I had the idea also with Driver, Cesna and Miko, very fast wings, which one he can go behind the opponent for the cross ball, and but the Celtic also, he had a very good player in defense, which one he have experience in the Champions League and international in close the area. But definitely unhappy and disappointed about the result, but definitely I think, especially in the second half, the team showed with 10 guys we can play football, and we don't like to lose the proud and the face, and okay, we lose the game, but the face and the proud is there, and I hope in the next game, especially against St. Mirren, we have more luck and better football and better results.
Hearts had very few efforts on goal today. Did you think about playing with two up front?
Okay, we played always with two striker, but the Bruno at the moment he played behind the Christian. I don't think this is the most important question. If you play with two striker in the line, I think this is more important what happened in the wings. Always we are in the game with 4-2-3-1. We play also 4-1-4-1. We play also 4-1. 4-4-1-1, but this is not the question. The question is the quality from the player, and I think if you have the quality, you can use the wings, and you have a very good cross balls. You can have always the possibility for the score. If you saw today Celtic also, he played the same system. He played 4-1-1, one striker in the front, one striker behind. But at the moment he had more luck and more quality, and this is true. But definitely this young team also. He can grow together, and also I hope in the next games we have a better performance, and I must wish good luck also for the Celtic against Manchester and the Champions League, and I hope he have also very good results. But if you saw the game Manchester against Celtic in the last Champions League, maybe it was the similar with this game. You cannot jump over your shadow, definitely no.
Do you think that the sending off of Zaliukas effectively killed the game for Hearts?
Oh no, this is, we can discuss about this very long. I think if we have 11 against 11, maybe we have in the second half more possibility to create chances. I have also more possibility to change. I can touch a little bit the game, but if you have this mistake, you must look to stay compact and maybe to look for the counter-attack situation. And I think the most important question was in this game the second goal, and from my place in the bench I don't saw the second goal what happened, but after in the monitor I saw this was a clear handball from the Celtic player. But I think also for the referee was very heavy to see this, but definitely this was for me the key. If we don't take so early the second goal, and we have time maybe to go with 1-0 in the dressing room, and after to come out, maybe it's a different game. But definitely I am not disappointed about nobody more about the results.
Shaba, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yep, I think that just about covers it. Well, he wasn't charging onto the pitch at the end of this one, as he did last weekend, picking up a too-much SFA ban, but boy was he animated in that technical area. The game was over after 20 minutes, really, maybe even after 7 minutes when Sean Maloney scored Celtic's first. Not a good day if you're a Hearts supporter. He reckoned there that for Celtic's first goal, maybe his goalkeeper Janos Balach could have punched the ball further. I think he's possibly being a little harsh. I'm not quite sure what the goalkeeper could have done other than what he did. And it was, well, top-class finish, John.
Yeah, it was, but I think he says he could have got more on the punch, but not for me. I think if you're the goalkeeper, I think you're quite happy to get this amount of distance on the punch. He's punched it there about 15-20 yards. It's just fallen to the wrong person as far as Hearts are concerned, because as I said, Sean Maloney, technically he's